A great big spicy hello to you. Thank you for joining us today. This is Diana Price, and you're listening to Diana's Spicy Business Talk Radio. Today, we're talking about what keeps entrepreneurs going. You know, last week we were talking about having a job and being inside the corporation with Ken Bentley, being an entrepreneur versus being an entrepreneur. And at Diana Price and Associates, we understand that, you know, you have to face challenges, and you will face challenges and pitfalls. So when we work with, you know, companies and small business owners, the challenges that they face are numerous. You know, you got to keep the cash flow going. You got to keep your employees happy. You got to be involved in every part of your operation. And so today we want to tackle that for you. What keeps entrepreneurs going? And my special guest today is Miss Kathy Pendleton. Kathy is a longtime friend, and I got to tell you, Kathy is so expert. She understands both sides of the fence, not only the entrepreneur world, but she was in corporate America just like I was. So we have these conversations a lot about why do we want to be an entrepreneur? What the heck is wrong with us? No, I'm just kidding. We don't say that because we love it. We love it. We love it. We love it. So I want Kathy to share with you today. She has worked with some of the best minds in the business in terms of being an entrepreneur. She's worked with Bob Proctor. She's worked with Peggy McCall, and I can go on and on and on. So the conversation is going to really help you and really give you some nuggets as to if you want to be your own person versus, you know, working for a corporation. We're going to really provide some good nuggets that you can take away and use in your business and your life every single day. So help me welcome Miss Kathy Pendleton to the show. Yay!
Thank you. Thank you, Diana. It's such a pleasure to be here. We've been talking about this for a while.
Yes, and I'm so glad to have you here now. I'm so glad to have you here. And when we talked about this, we talked about so many different things, so many different ways that we can approach this. But I want you to tell, you know, our listening audience a little bit about you, about your journey, why you are an entrepreneur. Okay? Tell me a little bit more. Tell us about you. Tell us about you.
So I worked in corporate America for a number of years.
Mm-hmm. Who'd you work for?
My last job was with Tandem Computers.
So your background is in technology.
My background is technology, right? I did customer support, which I really enjoy. Uh-huh. I've always enjoyed that.
You know that's what I love.
Tremendously. I know it is.
That's
I know
my
it is.
racket.
And I think we've talked about that for hours, actually. But so I love it. And in technology, the problems can make the whole situation feel a little bit adversarial. And it's important to keep in mind that really you're on the same team. Everybody wants things to work the way they're supposed to work.
Absolutely.
That you want to solve the problems of the customer. The customer obviously wants to get things solved. Mm-hmm. And I really enjoyed customer support for the opportunities that it gave me to fulfill a lot of my goals, which early on had a lot to do with travel. Mm-hmm. I love travel. I wanted to live outside the United States, and it afforded me that opportunity. I had a marvelous time. I was exposed to other cultures, and
that's cool.
And I really enjoyed that.
So those are some of the reasons that you decided on the entrepreneurial journey to have some freedom, to travel, to maybe live outside, and is that true?
Well, the freedom is definitely a large part of the entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
The entrepreneurial Jones, if you will, that urge to be on your own. Yeah. For me, it happened in that the level of travel I needed to do in my job was greater than I wanted to do and that my health would allow about 14 years ago. And so I stopped working in the corporate world. Uh-huh. And what happened as a result was that this was, if you remember, this was about the time of the dot bomb.
Oh,
and companies were having a lot of difficulty. They were struggling. And so what happened was that I talked to a lot of my friends who had taken early retirement packages and packages that would allow them to be independent for a while. And then they started looking for more employment. And all of us who were over 50 discovered that we got job interviews, and we were very successful at getting ongoing interviews until that in-person interview happened. And there was a lot of job discrimination going on. So I stepped back and I thought, well, why should I attempt to prolong the previous 25 or 30 years? Why don't I start setting up for the next 30 years or the next 40 years or whatever it's going to be, right? I mean, we have high expectations for being healthy for a long time.
Correct.
And energetic and alive and vibrant, and that's what we want. So that's where my journey began in the entrepreneurial space.
So when you decided no more corporate America for me, okay, what did you do? Did you have a strategy? Because today, what keeps entrepreneurs going? Did you have a plan? Did you just decide? I really know that I'm being discriminated against in the job world. Having a job is being just over broke anyway. We know that. So now it's time for me to take action and to choose what's really going to be the rest of my life, what's going to impact my life. So did you plan it? Did you have a vision? Did you say, that's what I want and that's how I want to do it?
No.
I don't think any of us do. Well, I don't know. Maybe some of us do that.
There are a number of people who have done that, who they have their life planned. And I don't mean a rigid plan, but they know what they want in their lives.
Yes, exactly.
And this is where we'll get eventually, right?
Yeah.
But that wasn't what happened for me. Right after college, I sort of knew the general area that I wanted to work in, and that worked for me. And I enjoyed that paycheck. It was a technology paycheck. It was very nice.
Technology paychecks have been very fat. Especially at that time.
And they were great. I enjoyed myself tremendously, and it was an exciting world to be in.
Did you have startup cash when you started your business? You had, this fat paycheck that was coming in. So when you decide I wanted to be an entrepreneur, did you take some of that and invest it in, starting your business and doing LLCs and?
No, I didn't. What I decided to do at that point was I had a number of friends who were in the real estate business. And real estate was a time in the real estate market that was going great guns. And a friend of mine who had a real estate license said, Kathy, you're never going to make it in this business. You hate working weekends. It's not going to work. So I thought, she's actually right. So what I will do is I will go into the mortgage side of the business. And I'd been working with a mortgage broker who I really liked, and so that's what I did. I got my real estate license, and I worked in mortgages for a while, and that was another nice paycheck for a while.
So that was that an entrepreneurial venture, or was that
It wasn't a W-2 job. It was
you were a contractor, kind of a...
I was a contractor, real estate agents and mortgage agents. Unless you actually work for a bank, you're independent. And
so you're independent at that venture.
I was. And that's really where I started encountering coaching.
Got it.
I joined a coaching company. I did not as a client. And
to learn more about how you wanted to pursue your own business.
How I wanted to pursue my own business, how to engage and retain clients, how to work in the business without constantly having to pursue clients, so that I would generate a very loyal following, and then they would refer business to me. And then ultimately the goal was to work with clients consistently work with clients and give them my attention, and then they would refer business to me.
Sure.
And that actually worked pretty well.
So what is your business, Kathy? Tell us about what you do. What is your business?
Well, I ultimately I wasn't crazy about mortgages, and that's not what I do now. So, but the thing that it did for me was that it did put me on this coaching and learning, constantly growing mental stimulation.
Yes.
What actually works in that arena.
And I think you make a really good point about starting with coaching, starting with, really getting people in your life that know what it is that you want to do, have experience with it, and kind of growing with them. So tell us about your coaching experiences. Who have you been coached by?
Oh, that's been a lot of fun. So I've been coached by Bob Proctor, by Mary Morrissey, by Gay Hendricks, by Peggy McCall.
These are all amazing entrepreneurial names. So let's start with Bob Proctor. What do you think the best thing about your relationship, your coaching relationship with Bob Proctor? What did you learn from him, and what are you using in your business today that you learned from Bob Proctor?
Bob is an absolute genius at mindset.
I love Bob Proctor.
He's so amazing, and he states things in a very clear way, and I think anybody who's worked with Bob has seen his little drawing of the conscious mind and the subconscious mind with the little circle and the line across and the small stick body below. And
mindset.
It makes it very, very clear, and when he talks about it. But for me, the genius of Bob Proctor really comes out in the Q&A, because when you ask Bob a question, his focus is trained completely on you, and he's very intuitive, and he is so tuned in to you personally. And the answer is frequently not at all what you expect. But then when you implement what he's chosen to tell you, what he's been drawn to tell you, it's perfect.
And I want to stop you right there, because what you just said is breathtaking as far as entrepreneurials and what we should really know and how we should use what you just said. Because just like that conversation that you and Bob Proctor, had, the same kind of thing, you should be focusing on your client. So if Bob is telling you, your focus should be, on what is it that you want to achieve in your business. How is your mindset, congruent with what you want to do? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but go ahead. That really works well, not only with ourselves, but we have to use that same concept when we try to attract clients to us.
It's true, and I think also that that's true of any of these coaches.
Sure.
When you interact with them and you ask them a question. And it's such a privilege to have that opportunity.
Oh, it is. It really is.
To have that opportunity, if they have a Q&A session in any course or any, even the courses that really don't offer a lot of access frequently have a Q&A session.
Yeah. So
you submit your question, and then you have that opportunity to have their one-on-one attention. And it's fabulous because it is.
Because you're asking specific questions that relate to your business and how you can move yourself forward.
Exactly. So, whatever problems you're having, difficulty, whatever it is about your business that you want to
What have you
counsel
had
about.
Problems within your business that Bob Proctor, Mary Morrissey, etc., have helped you with? Let's talk about, maybe 2 specific issues that you've tried to overcome in your business. Name 1 or 2.
So it's very interesting. When I travel, I'm a planner. I like planning where I'm going to go and where I'm going to stay, and in some cases what restaurants I'm going to eat in and what places I want to go and visit and things like that. And in my life and in my business, that really hasn't been the case. And what they've taught me and what I've worked on is creating that vision for myself of what I want to bring into my life. So, my coach, Peggy McCall, has a process, and I know that Mary Morrissey has a similar process, a process where you write out a vision for your life.
Okay.
Who you want to be with, the partner you want to be with, the friends you want to be with, the people that you want to be around, where you want to live, what you want your home to look like, what car you want to drive, what you want your children to be like, all of the things, what you want your spiritual life to be like, how you want it to affect you, whether you want to interact spiritually on a day-to-day basis,
it is so
health,
important.
fitness.
That is huge.
All of that.
How it relates to your business is
and
huge.
Draw out your life. And then remind yourself of that on a daily basis.
Now,
so a lot of the guys that you talk to, the people that you talk to, they know their goals and they keep them in front of you. In front of themselves. So I keep them in front of me. I have a vision
computer.
That's on I've recorded it.
Okay.
I listen to it.
Okay.
In the morning, I listen to it before I go to sleep.
And how do you act on it during the day? What? Because how does that keep you going? How do you act on that during the day?
So there's 2 things. Your subconscious mind is alive and active and working while you're asleep.
Yes.
And reading that image or listening to that vision before going to sleep it puts that vision of what you're striving to create and what you want to bring into your life, it puts that in front of your subconscious mind
it's front of
at night.
mind.
So your subconscious is working on it during the night.
And so you get up.
And then in the morning, you get up and you're in that energy, your mind is in that space already. And then you listen to it again, and it reminds you of why you're doing what you're doing, and of the things you want to be around, you want to bring in and have around you, of the people and places and conversations that you want to have are going on around you all of the time. And so it focuses you on what's the next step. What's the next step for your business?
Well, isn't the next step for small businesses and business professionals and large companies and global businesses, isn't the next step always, how am I going to get that next customer? How am I going to continue to generate revenue and grow my business? Of course, there's a lot of things. Like when I first mentioned, you got to deal with employees. You have to deal with, what kind of money is coming in. You got to deal with, all the operations, all the noise. So it seems like it's always related to marketing. And we're going to be right back. We're going to take a quick break. This is Diana, and you're listening to Diana Price and Associates, Diana's Spicy Business Talk with Kathy Pendleton. We'll be right back. with your customers, it is so crucial that you do not take your customer for granted. Let spicy customer interactions provide your customers with the best experience possible. You know, customers today, they want a better experience. They want to know that you really care. They want you to show how much you care in a big way. In a big way. 59% of Americans would buy a different product and spend a lot more money for a better customer experience. It is clear that when you spice up that interactions, spicy customer interactions, we need that in our business today and in our personal interactions. A compassionate, caring approach, a spicy approach to customer service, it can be learned, you know. It doesn't have to be like you can be mild or bland or boring all the time. And when you learn it, you can boldly form that in your own special way. At Diana Price and Associates, we have a 7-step branded program called Spicy Customer Interactions. Every business needs to know how to spice up their interactions with their customers so they can use customer service as a profit strategy and get more productivity and profitability with each interaction, with each transaction. If you want to learn more about it, email us at info@dianapriceassociates.com, and you can go on over to our website, www.dianapriceassociates.com. We look forward to hearing from you. Have a wonderful week. Hi, welcome back. This is Diana Price, and you're listening to Diana's Spicy Business Talk. We're talking with Kathy Pendleton today, and we've been talking a little bit about what keeps entrepreneurs going. You know, we as entrepreneurs, we have choices that we make. We make a choice to be an entrepreneur. We make choices every day, and some of those choices are costly. Some of those choices probably are mistakes. Some of them are bad choices, but you have to get in the game in order to be successful. And we like to work with people that want to thrive, that have passion about their business, and not just kind of survive and hang tough with the status quo. So that's why we want to bring this to you today about what you can do to keep going in your business, because it's not always going to be a bed of roses, and you're not always going to do everything perfectly. And that's okay. But there are some things that you can really, really, really get out of your business, like using a coach, working with a mentor. And when you do that, I mean, you have to be careful, because you don't want to always be, learning and listening and learning and listening and not taking action. So, listen to what Kathy has to say today about how we can balance that approach, not only having coaches and entrepreneurs as coaches and being a coach to your clients, but how you balance that and really get revenue and cash flow flowing in your business. So welcome back, Kathy. Thank you so much again for being here. I want to move our conversation a little bit to, as entrepreneurs, we love what we do. Generally speaking, we're really passionate about what we do. We love, like you talk about, I think, messages of prosperity in your business. And, everybody knows that I love teaching people how to treat each other. I love working with companies so that their leadership strategies, how they treat their employees, how they make their money, and their social media presence. I love that, I can help people with that. So what would you say about entrepreneurs that maybe love their businesses so much that maybe they love it more than their family or their friends? Is it possible to love your business and what you do more than your family? And I mean, what do you think about that concept?
It's really very interesting. So, I actually don't believe in balance in my life.
You don't believe in balance?
Not. I mean, averaged out.
Uh-huh.
I think that we have balance, but
Yeah.
I think that there are times when we don't have balance.
There are times
agree with that
when
completely.
your business requires more attention
Yes.
than it does at other times. And there
Yes.
are times when your family, especially in times of health crises and
Mm-hmm.
things like that, requires more of your time, more of your attention than your business. And you better hope that you've put the processes in place
That's right.
so that your business doesn't, so that you
Suffer.
can suffer. Right, exactly. I worked with Laurel Langmeyer. Laurel Langmeyer talks about this
Yes.
specific incident and the fact that the breadwinner needs to continue to be the breadwinner in order to provide the kind of care that's required. I mean, that's just one example. But there are times when you feel maybe energetically that your spirituality needs a lot more attention, or that physically you have to pay more attention to
Right.
your fitness level in order to keep going. I had a friend who went into sales, and the first thing his manager, from being a support engineer, the first thing his sales manager told him was to go to the gym. He said, "You need a lot different energy than you're used to putting out on a regular basis." He told him to go to the gym and get a gym membership.
Good.
So it's very interesting how these different areas show up in your life,
Yeah.
and affect your business.
Absolutely.
So no, I don't necessarily believe in ongoing constant balance. But for every one of these, you have trade-offs.
Yes, you do.
Right? There are always trade-offs. You have to get buy-in
Right.
from your family.
Right.
If you're going to be overextending yourself in
It's
your
good to
business.
communicate. It really is. It really is.
Yeah.
But you know, the concept that you said, and I was thinking about that. I was talking to another entrepreneur recently about they play golf. They play golf, and their golf takes sometimes, you know, the whole day, more than the whole day. And I have another friend that plays tennis, and I play tennis too. I love my tennis. And you know, when I play tennis, I'm comparing that with how he does golf. But when I play tennis, I have to really, I have to schedule it first thing in the morning so I can go, okay, I want to be done by this by X time. But when he plays golf, I mean, he's got the whole day to deal with. So the point I'm making is that sometimes, you know, the choices that we make to, you know, be healthy, you know, they can get in the way of our business, because if I'm playing 8 hours of golf a day, I'm not, you know, focusing perhaps on the kinds of things that I should be to grow in my business. Unless, you know, I'm Bob Proctor and I have unlimited amount of money, then I can play golf all day and have everybody else do it. But when you're starting off, that is probably not a good idea to play golf 8 hours a day.
Well, it depends on whether you're doing business on the golf course.
I guess
Which
this
a
is
lot
true.
of people do. A
Yeah.
lot of people are doing
That's
business
very
because you
true.
can, you're walking,
Yeah.
you're talking.
Yeah.
There's more socializing than
That's
maybe
true.
there is on a tennis court where you're,
Yeah.
you know, across the net from one another. So
Right.
there are different aspects of that
Right.
particular phenomenon.
Yeah, because you
But-
don't want it to consume your time, I think is the point.
I agree.
You want it to envelop your time and make your time, you know, get the most out of that relationship. And like you said, if you're on the golf course, do business on the golf course, but don't just consume your time, you know, playing golf.
Right.
So
Right.
I think, Kathy, I want you to tell me a little bit about Messages of Prosperity. What is that?
So, Messages of Prosperity is the business that I'm starting, and it isn't completely up and running yet. I've started getting a few clients. I have a few clients, and my website is there's a landing page
Oh,
there, but it's not. The website is not completed.
This is huge, because this is the things that we are talking about that entrepreneurs go through all the time. You start one business and then you start another one, and then you piggyback on another business. So this is so very, very important for our listeners today.
So, Messages of Prosperity, that I was thinking on the way over here of, you know, the it's not minutia, but the things you have to do for your business. So
yeah.
I struggled with,
the fact that I've been in technology and I kept feeling like I should put this website up myself. I should get on there, learn WordPress, put a website up myself. And finally, I just bit the bullet at the end of the summer, and I finally hired.
Hired. Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
A website
It is so
developer.
important that we do not do everything in our business ourselves. We have to have people and resources, and we have to hire people to help us. Otherwise, we would never be successful.
Yes, so I love her, and she's so we are working on the website.
Good.
Together, and we have a landing page up at the moment where you can actually sign up for the website. And
Awesome.
by next week, it will be sending out regular messages of prosperity.
Great.
And these messages are everywhere. So the purpose of these messages are to, to keep the entrepreneur, to help the entrepreneur with focus, with energy, with optimism, with persistence.
I love that.
With belief, with confidence. Because these things are the kinds of things that are required to keep you moving ahead with a business that's not really going yet. That's one of the things that I love, and one of the things that you and I do for one another on a regular basis.
We coach each other. We mentor each other.
And we're in a mastermind group together.
Tell us about a mastermind. Tell our listeners how a mastermind will keep your business moving forward.
So when this business, Messages of Prosperity, which I love, and I love it as a result of the work and the study that I've done with coaches and over the last couple of years. And what happened as a result of that was that I am definitely not the same person that I was a year ago. But 2.5 years ago, you and I were in a course together.
Yes, we were.
And we started along our path in a mastermind together, where once a week we get together and we talk, the four of us, and we tell one another, our accomplishments for the previous week and any challenges that we're having. And all of us have input for one another.
Absolutely.
But the beauty of this is that we support one another's dreams.
So it's just awesome to have that kind of support.
Right, and it's not the same as input from your family.
Yeah.
Where your family is concerned about whether you're going to get hurt or whether you're going to be upset by failing or whether you're going to make enough money or whether you're going to... I mean, these things are all important.
They are.
I'm not diminishing them. However, there has to be a cheerleader back there saying, I know you can do this.
Yes.
You love this. This is going to be great for you and the world needs it. You have power. Think of all this energy that is within you that you can bring to other people.
Right. The best part of that and what you said, and from my standpoint, mastermind, we're talking about mastermind, is that we allow each other to be accountable for each other, and we force each other to be accountable for what we say we're going to do. So if we say we have this challenge or if we have that challenge and we celebrated our accomplishments, then we also say, what do you want to accomplish this week?
Right.
What is it that you want to be held accountable for? So we can keep your feet to the fire and make sure that you get that done.
We can.
Yes.
We can. And maybe we decide, through discussions, we decide, oh, well, I'm not going to really go down that path or I'm not going to pursue things in this way. then that's a choice. But
Right.
Masterminding, the whole idea was put forth by Napoleon Hill.
Yes.
In Think and Grow Rich.
Was that 75 years ago? I remember reading that.
in the
75 years
30s,
ago,
yeah.
masterminding started.
I actually
have the book, Think
have
and
it
Grow
with me.
Rich.
It's
That-
just amazing.
It is an
And,
incredible book.
This is, I think, my third copy. They keep
Yeah.
vanishing.
If you
right?
haven't
And-
read that book, audience, I highly suggest that you read it once, twice, and 3 times. That is just a roadmap for entrepreneurs. I'm sorry to
And
interrupt.
no, not at all. And it is. So the idea here is that if you think about masterminding in a similar way to brainstorming, for instance, when you get together, it's putting a group of minds together
Yes.
in one place, focused on the same topic, and the ideas and the strengths that come out of that collaboration are more than any one person or than you would
Yes.
maybe expect from
Exactly.
just the 4 together. But it
Exactly.
kind of expands and
Yeah.
explodes, and it's really a phenomenal thing and a technique that is just superb, I guess. Masterminding is a very, very powerful thing. And I'm so grateful for I wouldn't have met you if we hadn't gone into the same mastermind group.
That's very
and
true.
We're, and
And that's how communities and relationships and joint ventures and partnerships are formed. So, I don't want you to play that lightly. Masterminding is very, very important. I want to just take a few minutes and talk about, our mindset, our egos as it relates to entrepreneurship. So when we come back from the break, I want to talk about how sometimes our negative defeatist kind of approach to, I can't do that, or, how that really affects us as an entrepreneur, and then how our ego gets in the way. So we will be right back. And you are listening to Diana's Spicy Business Talk. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Tell yourself positive things every single day for a month. That's at 21 times. Well, 21 plus, but every day for a month. Tell yourself something positive. I can do this job. I can learn this new event, whatever it is, this new activity. I love myself. I like myself. Even though I didn't quite get this done, look at all the things that I did get done all the way up to this. Practice positive self-talk for at least a month. And then, don't judge yourself until after a month, because you're going to fall back to your normal habits. It's normal. So see how that affects your attitude. Okay, what else can you do to become an optimist? You can practice affirmations, because all this is going to help you stay well. It's going to help you be more productive. So practice positive affirmations. You know what I mean? You know what affirmations are. They're little motivating statements. I am great. I love what I do. I love creating exceptional customer experiences. I love treating people well. I love seeing the results of, that kind of thing. Just practice affirmations and make up your own affirmations. You got to put some time in. You got to put a little bit of time and write some of this down, because you don't want to just mind boggle this and say, okay, well, this is all BS, because it's not BS. It's all about your health and it's all about your wealth. So the I am statements, the I am things like that, just kind of practice affirmations, and then accentuate that. Hi, welcome back. This is Diana Price, and you're listening to Diana's Spicy Business Talk Radio, where we bring you all kinds of business opportunities, growth, talk about things that you can use in your business and in your lifestyle every single day. And we've been talking about how and what keeps entrepreneurs going. Something that all of us could really benefit from. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner, even if you are inside a company, you should have an entrepreneur and an entrepreneurial mindset. And sometimes we have, a defeatist kind of an attitude. Maybe we have, negative thoughts that, that's just kind of get in there, that you have to eject out, that really affect your business and impact, how you proceed. So we're going to talk to Kathy about, what kind of defeatist and what kind of negative vibes do entrepreneurs sometimes go through, and how we can really just eject that and hit the reset button. Welcome back, Kathy. So what do you think about that defeatist kind of a, mindset that sometimes it may not stay, it may kind of pass through, but what causes that, and how can we really avoid having it stay with us?
So one of the things that I heard very recently from a coach of mine was that when we're all babies and we first start taking those little steps we stand up and we pull up on a table and let go and plop back down to the floor. And how many times does that happen?
Right.
And then our parents stand us up and they hold our fingers and then they walk us across the floor and then they stand across the floor from us and say, come on, come on, come on. There is never, not once, any kind of a response of, you're not going to be able to do that. What's going to happen if you stand up? What's going to...
Right.
And you know what? It's the last time. It's the last time that we don't have somebody around there saying to us, what if?
Yes.
What if?
Absolutely.
Don't hurt yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
You could get burned. You could fall down. You could get a scrape. So I think that we all come by that little niggling idea in our minds that makes us question whether we can. So I don't think that it's unnatural at all that is going to pop in there. But as you said, the trick is to just let it pass through. I heard another story about a lady who was wildly in debt, a realtor, wildly in debt, and her coach said, okay, 1 day a month. So at first, it was like she couldn't even get out of bed. But then her coach was like, 1 day a month, you can wallow in your fear. Other than that, 1 day a month. Other than that, you have to act like you're doing great.
Yeah.
If you look into the background of the greats, Bob Proctor didn't start off with a silver spoon in his mouth. Neither did Brian Tracy. And these coaches know what it's like to turn their mindsets around and change them and try to do other things and build a prosperity life.
Yeah.
You're right, a life full of prosperity. And the beauty of this is that we all have these different visions, but the trick is to keep that vision in front of us.
Absolutely.
So this stuff moves through. One of the things you could say is, when one of these thoughts comes into your mind, you can say, I wonder, and turn maybe your fear into an I wonder question. I wonder what I'm supposed to learn from this.
Yes. Because we're going to make another mistake. It's probably going to pop back through our minds again. But I like that. I wonder why this is overtaking my mind right now and what I can do to overcome that.
Right. I wonder what I should learn. I wonder what I can learn from this.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
so it's I don't think it's unnatural. I think it's perfectly
I agree.
normal.
And it happens all the time. I say in my workshops, I say when a mindset of negative and limiting beliefs starts to overtake you, you just have to hit the eject button, go pop, and let it, and just visualize that image of that thing just ejecting out of your mind, and it's gone.
And it's gone.
It's completely gone. And it might come back again. Just like we might make another mistake and we might not do what we're supposed to do, but that's gone, and we're going to reset and get started over again. And then I want to talk about, because we're talking about what keeps entrepreneurs moving forward and what keeps us going. One of the things that I hear a lot of entrepreneurs talk about is ego. Not only entrepreneurs, but leaders. A lot of leaders, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people that have struggled and then had success, some of them appear to have egos. Now, to me, an ego, depending on how you use it, can be well placed. But you have to be careful. If you are in the position of you're starting, you're growing, you don't want your ego to overtake the things that you really need to do to get your business done. What do you think about how egos should be balanced? How your ego should be balanced?
Well, confidence is a big thing for entrepreneurs.
Yes.
You have to believe, and you have to have confidence in what you're doing.
Is ego and confidence the same?
Oh, no. No.
I agree with you.
No, not at all. Not at all. And confidence is very important in moving your business forward.
It sure is.
And so that part of your personality,
Yes.
is absolutely necessary.
Right.
But believing that you're doing it all yourself,
Yes.
and that you're the intelligence that's creating all of it, that's where I think ego is.
Well, to me, you're right. Because ego also says, well, oh yeah, I've done this before. Oh yeah, I've already done that. Oh yeah, we tried that the other. When you're in a coaching session, for example, we've seen these role play coaching sessions where the client is asked a question, or the person is asked a question, and they've done that. They've already tried that. Everything that might be a suggestion. I've done it. I've tried it. I've done it.
Yeah.
But guess what?
I like to call it the yeah, but.
Yeah, but. Exactly.
The yeah, but.
But they are not moving forward because the ego says, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this.
And so the answer
stuck.
to that is, what are your results?
That's right.
Do your results show it? Do your results show that
Absolutely.
you know this, or you've moved through this?
Right.
So there's another thing that I think of in terms of business guidance, and so this is it's going a little bit out there on a limb, I think.
Business guidance.
But I believe that there is a universal. I mean, you can call it the universe, or you can call it spirit, or you can call it God, if you like, whatever you want. But I believe that there is a spirit, a universe that guides us, that contributes to our success.
Sure.
That spark is within all of us. Sure. And that some of these incredible inspirations, that we didn't come up with them on our own.
I completely get that.
It was provided, right? There was some kind of a download, and it. I mean, if you listen to Wayne Dyer talk about writing, what was it, Wishes Fulfilled, or it wasn't that one. It was another book of Wayne Dyer's that he says he wrote in 2 weeks, and it was just basically a download, and he reads it.
Wow.
And he reads it, and he's like, whoa, that's amazing. And I believe that that's a help, and that we all
learn to tap into that in order to sustain us, maintain
our
us,
spiritual guidance.
Our spiritual guidance.
I like that. And I think it's true. I mean, I have it too. And, I get up every day and I have my spiritual, procedures
Practice.
that I go
Right.
through, and I enjoy that, and it helps me get started every day. I want to ask you another question about, when an entrepreneur is trying to just say, or a business owner, or or a leader, someone that's guiding people, a CEO of a big corporation, in order for them to be successful, what do you think it takes? And this could be attributed to an entrepreneur. What does it take to be successful? I mean, what kind of mindset, what kind of activities, what is it that's going to help you be successful at the end of the day? What do you think about that, Kathy?
So I think daily practices are important. I think that it's important to have a vision for your business and to review it regularly. I think that a desired outcome that you're working toward, that's long-term, that maybe you are not in complete control of. You have to hire people or rely on other people to help you accomplish that outcome. And then breaking things down into goals and action steps, because what happens is that when you move into action toward that goal, the universe conspires to have things align, to have things show up to help move you along that path.
Yes.
And this is basically a restatement of the quote by, who lived on Walden Pond? Henry David Thoreau. All I have to do is reconnect the synapses, right? The Henry David Thoreau quote that says, basically what I just said. And the universe will move things, phenomenal things, to make your progress easier.
Yes.
And to put opportunities in front of you.
In front of you. Absolutely.
And quite often, these opportunities show up, your greatest movement happens right after something that you look on as a failure. Right? So this failure shows up, and then, believe it or not, that was an opportunity in disguise, or right around the corner. It allowed you to see this opportunity that you might not have noticed, right, if you hadn't just had a little bit of adversity.
Yeah, exactly.
So
to be successful, adversity, a vision for your business.
You have to be willing to go for it and fail.
That's so well put. You have to get out there and just say, I'm going to try this. And it might not be the best this time, but guess what? I'm going to learn from that, and I'm going to make it better next time. So you got to be willing to fail.
And learn the lesson.
And learn the lesson from it. And then move forward.
And you have to believe, you have to have confidence, you have to have optimism, you have to have energy.
Yes.
And really, when you put yourself in that energetic vibration that's in alignment with your goal, it's gonna come. It's gonna come. It's gonna show up in your life.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I think that we're almost out of time, so I want to summarize. What keeps entrepreneurs going. We have a few more minutes, but I want to summarize what we've been talking about today. Kathy has really shared some amazing nuggets with us about, what happens and how do you keep focused. She talks about focus. She talked about you have to stay focused, and how you stay focused is going to impact your success. She talked about energy. She talked about the energy that comes from within. She talked about how you keep that energy, how it flows, how you have to be optimistic. I was taking notes when Kathy was talking. and the confidence versus the ego. I mean, I like that discussion because you have to be careful about saying, I know it all, I know this, I've done that. What did you call it? Yeah, but.
The yeah, but
but phenomenon.
If you're going to engage a coach, you might as well take in what they're telling you.
Absolutely.
Right? So you try to avoid the yeah, but phenomenon.
Completely avoid the yeah but phenomenon. And the mastermind we talked about as being a good part of anybody's growth. So when you decide you either want to be an entrepreneur or you're feeling like, what the heck did I bite off here? Do I still need to move forward with this, or should I just get a JOB? Do I want to go get a JOB, a just over broke? And I would encourage everyone not to fall into that trap. So, were you going to say something?
No.
No. Okay. So the ego, don't let that get in the way of you moving forward. And if you decide to have a coach, don't have a yeah but kind of a relationship with that coach. And it's so important. One of the things I teach at Diana Price and Associates is you have to start with your core values, because if you start with the core values, those things that are important to you, whether it's your honesty, whatever your core values are, that has to be weaved in to the vision for your business. And Kathy talked about you have to have that vision for your business. You have to understand what you're doing, why you're doing it, why it's important to you, and how important is it? Is it going to balance, or is it going to be out of balance? I mean, sometimes our business can take a lot more time and our family might suffer. So we have to really understand that it's okay sometimes to do that, because on the other side of the fence, your family might take a lot more time and your business maybe not suffering because you don't want it to suffer, but it's important that you have a good plan, because if you don't have a strategy, if you don't have a plan, all this is going to be for naught. Anything else that we left out? That's kind of a quick summary.
That's a quick summary. That's good.
Anything else you want to talk about? We talked about your business and how you went from corporate America to entrepreneurship, which I can really, really, really relate to. Anything else you want to say before we close? I have a couple more things I want to share with the audience, but I want to just go to you to see what else you want to share today.
Well, I would love for your listeners to go to messagesofprosperity.com.
Messagesofprosperity.com.
And this site provides entrepreneurs with a way to maintain their energy, maintain their optimism, and
Great.
encourages them to, retain that vision and move toward their goals. And it does that by regular messages.
Awesome.
To encourage their own vision of prosperity. And on the site right now, they can receive a gift that teaches them how to put together this vision.
Great. That is great. I love it. I'm going to go visit it myself. Kathy, I want to thank you so much for being with us today and talking about how to keep entrepreneurs moving forward. I think it's such an important, and as entrepreneurs, we're always trying to figure out what's our next move. So if you have some obstacles that you're facing in your business or in your life, or if you need something or someone to help you target yourself, help you stay focused, we have what we call a targeted fix. We have a targeted fix for not only entrepreneurs, but for leaders, where we can help you really focus on a problem, whether it's a quick fix or whether it is something that you really want to structure for growth and for revenue and for productivity in your business. Sometimes we just go through those things, and you really need someone that's going to sit down and say, I can help you with that. So if you need that kind of help, we're there for you at Diana Price and Associates. And I think you have our website. It's DianaPriceAssociates.com. And I would also like you to please visit our blog because we have a wealth of information, a wealth of content that you can use every day in your business and in your life. And our blog is dpriceassociates.com. You're going to find things there if you want to start a new business, some questions that you need to be asking yourself. So we really appreciate you tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you every week because we want to give you and help you on your journey to being an entrepreneur or leader. Thank you for tuning in. This is Diana, and you're listening to Diana's Spicy Business Talk. We'll see you next Tuesday, 12:30 Pacific Standard Time. Have a great week.